To my dear Chloe and Lily, if you're hearing this, the vault at sisterhoodsleuths.net is open to you. Inside are the heirlooms of our legacy, free books to guide your journey, VIP access to the one who tells our story, rare artifacts to mark your place in the sisterhood, and secret updates to keep you ahead of the society's moves. Welcome to the Sisterhood Sleuths podcast. Today, we open the first pages of your true inheritance, the key, the journal, and the truth about Eleanor Hastings, not just your grandmother, but your protector, your teacher, and the woman who trained you for a world you never knew existed.
Welcome to The Deep Dive, the show where we really try to cut through all the noise, sift through different sources, and, pull out those vital insights, those moments that make you go, and get you well-informed, fast.
That's the goal.
Today, we're diving into a story that feels really human. It's all about family secrets, what it really means to protect someone you love, and I guess the lasting power of a legacy.
A really compelling mix.
Yeah, it is. Our source for this one is Kathy Warshaw's book, Grandmother's Secrets, The Obsidian Eye Unveiled. We're specifically looking at the parts about Chloe and Lily and their grandmother, Eleanor Hastings.
It's quite a journey she sets up.
It really is. It starts off seeming quite simple, a loving grandmother. But it unravels into something much, much deeper. And it perfectly hits this theme the book mentions. Love, even wrapped in secrets, never fades. So let's get into it.
Okay.
So when we first meet Eleanor Hastings in Warshaw's book, it's through her granddaughter's eyes, Chloe and Lily. And she seems like, the picture of kindness, a loving grandmother.
Right? Especially after they lost their parents. That's a huge void to fill.
Exactly. And Eleanor steps in, takes this tragedy, and sort of builds this world of wonder for them. The source describes how she got them into history, told these great stories about explorers, hidden treasures.
Instilling that sense of adventure, perhaps.
Yes, and the power of knowledge, too. It sounds like she really created this safe space, this sanctuary built on love and learning. But, as you read on, you start to see maybe there were some hidden walls around that sanctuary.
That's the really striking part Warshaw brings out, isn't it? That duality. Her warmth, her wisdom, that was all real, a total anchor for the girls. Mm-hmm. But underneath all that, Eleanor was carrying this huge silent burden. She was actively, shielding Chloe and Lily from a really dangerous truth.
Not just everyday worries.
No, not at all. This wasn't about scraped knees or bad grades. This was a secret that, if it came out, could just completely turn their lives upside down. And the book implies she carried that weight completely alone, a deliberate choice to protect their innocence.
So it wasn't just about, emotional comfort then. The source really pushes beyond that typical grandparent role. It shows Eleanor as their main protector, their guide, their biggest source of comfort. She essentially raised them as her own.
Which is just a massive commitment. Talk about dedication.
Absolutely. Taking on that full parental role. What did that actually look like day to day? How did she raise them specifically?
Well, that's where it gets really interesting. Her approach was incredibly strategic, even though the girls had no idea at the time. Warsha details how Eleanor wasn't just being nurturing, she was carefully equipping them.
Equipping them? For what?
For challenges they didn't even know existed. She taught them things like how to solve complex puzzles, how to read between the lines in history texts, which is way more important than just memorizing dates, right?
Definitely. Critical thinking.
Exactly. And maybe the most crucial thing, how to really trust their instincts. Yeah. Every lesson, every story, it was like a building block. But she deliberately left out the biggest piece.
Which was?
The truth about this group called the Society, its existence, what it was really about. This wasn't just something she forgot to mention. It was a calculated omission, a key part of her whole protective strategy.
Wow. So what was the Society? Why was it so important to keep secret?
The source describes it as powerful, dangerous, and just relentless. An organization Eleanor herself knew from her past. Intimately, it seems.
Okay, so this brings up a really tough question the story makes you ask. Why? Why would this loving, dedicated grandmother keep something so huge, so life-altering from the people she loved most? It feels almost contradictory, doesn't it? Love usually means openness.
It's a huge tension in the book, and when you connect it to hints about Eleanor's own past, possibly from that journal we learn about later, it becomes devastatingly clear why she did it. Because Eleanor knew, absolutely knew, that if Chloe and Lily found out about the Society, its power, its history, its danger, that they'd be pulled into its world. And the implication is, once you're in, you can't get out.
Okay, so it wasn't deception for deception's sake.
Not at all. It was about guaranteeing their freedom, their safety, even if it meant she had to live the secret life, carry that burden alone. It was a choice made out of this fierce, protective love that put their future first, way ahead of her own need for, maybe, transparency.
And that's an almost unbearable choice for a guardian, isn't it? To deliberately bury your own past, lock away parts of your life and heritage, just so your grandkids can have what you think of as a normal life, shielded from these shadows that haunted you.
She willingly took on that huge psychological weight herself.
Yeah, it really makes you think about what love means. Is it always about telling the whole truth? Or can it sometimes be about, well, protective secrets?
Precisely. And, despite all her careful planning, all that sacrifice, the narrative hits you with this line: fate had other plans.
Oof. That really lands, doesn't it?
It does. It just highlights how unpredictable life is, no matter how hard we try to control things for the people we love. All Eleanor's efforts, so profound, so well-intentioned, they couldn't cover every possibility, couldn't stop the inevitable.
And that inevitable, devastating event was Eleanor's death. The source paints such a vivid picture of the girl's grief. Not just sadness, but this sudden empty space.
The loss of their anger.
Exactly. Their safe haven, this world Eleanor had built so carefully, just gone. Leaving them with all these unanswered questions and this huge sense of loss. It kind of strips away that feeling of safety they had.
It forces them to face how fragile things really were.
Okay, so here's where the story really pivots. Beautifully done by Warshaw. It wasn't some big revelation at first, but it's a small discovery that started to shift everything. Tucked inside one of Eleanor's favorite books, Chloe and Lily find this old key. An ornate key. And that tiny thing, it wasn't just metal. It was the first little crack in the facade, the first real clue that maybe their grandmother's life was much more complex, more intriguing than they ever thought.
A tangible link to that hidden life. And that key, like in all good stories, right, it unlocks more than just a door.
Right. It leads them where?
To a locked chest, up in the attic, of course. The classic spot for secrets. And inside this chest, well, it's incredibly revealing. A real collection of Eleanor's hidden world. Cryptic notes, messages in code, and the most important thing, an old journal with her initials.
Wow.
Yeah, this wasn't just keepsakes. It was like a carefully laid trail of breadcrumbs, a record of a life lived sort of in the shadows, just waiting.
You could almost picture them in the attic, can't you? The quiet, the dust, opening that journal. Warshaw really brings that moment to life. The slow turning of the pages, the truth starting to unfold. It's right there in Eleanor's own handwriting that they finally start to get the full picture. The incredible scope of her dedication. They realized she was watching over them, protecting them in ways they couldn't even have imagined.
That very ordinary moment maybe wasn't so ordinary.
Exactly. Every act was protection.
And this is where the narrative is just brilliant. It's the point where all those little things Eleanor did throughout their childhood, the stories, the puzzles, the history lessons, suddenly they all click into place. It must have been shocking. The journal reveals she'd spent years, maybe decades, actively working to stop the society from ever finding them. And everything she taught them, those bedtime stories, those history lessons, how to solve puzzles, read between the lines, none of it was random.
It was all deliberate.
Meticulously crafted, part of this huge forward-thinking plan. Warshaw shows Eleanor was basically preparing them, giving them the exact tools, intellectual and practical, they'd need if she wasn't there anymore to protect them herself.
So it wasn't just a grandmother raising grandkids.
No, it was like a warrior, subtly training her successors. Without them having any clue, it totally reframes what nurturing can mean, doesn't it?
It really does. So for Chloe and Lily, the big realization wasn't, oh, she lied to us. It wasn't betrayal.
Not according to the source, no. It was this profound, maybe overwhelming understanding that Eleanor kept secrets purely out of love, this immense, fierce, protective love.
She gave them the ultimate gift, in a way. Not just safety, but the tools. The strength, the smarts, the resilience to, I guess, fight back. To figure things out when the time came.
Exactly. That's such a powerful legacy, a testament to a love that shaped them in ways they're only now starting to fully grasp.
Well, and that legacy isn't just something they remember, right?
Yeah.
It's active.
Absolutely. It's carried forward, amplified even. The source explains that Chloe and Lily, now knowing their grandmother's real story and her intentions, they've embraced this path. They're now the Sisterhood Sleuths.
Yeah.
A duo solving mysteries, uncovering truths, often tied directly back to Eleanor's hidden past and the society. They're basically stepping into the role she prepared them for.
Not as a burden, though.
No, it seems like an empowered continuation of her love. It's a really powerful way to show how a legacy can live on, become this active force, even after someone's gone.
It really does underline that quote from the source, doesn't it? Even though Eleanor's gone, she's still with them. In every mystery they solve, every challenge. Because that love, even wrapped in all those secrets and that quiet protection, it never faded.
It just transformed from direct protection to maybe a guiding force. But it endured. It shaped who they became.
So this deep dive into Eleanor's story, through Kathy Warshaw's book, it really makes you think, doesn't it? About some big universal stuff.
Definitely.
Like, how do the people who protect us most, sometimes with secrets, but always with good intentions, how do they shape our future? Equip us for challenges we don't even see coming. Makes you wonder about the hidden foundations in your own life.
The unseen lessons, the sacrifices maybe you never knew about.
Yeah.
And this story, even though it's fiction, it poses a really provocative question for real life, I think.
Yeah.
What does it teach us about how complex love and protection can be? That sometimes they're almost paradoxical.
How so?
Well, it highlights how secrets, which we usually think of as negative, as deception, in certain really high-stakes situations, maybe they can be the ultimate expression of care.
That's interesting.
Like demonstrating a foresight, a self-sacrifice, a long-term view that goes way beyond just immediate comfort or simple honesty. It asks us to consider that maybe true love sometimes demands the hardest choices, even secrecy.
That is a powerful thought to leave with. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
My pleasure.
We hope Eleanor's story and Chloe and Lily's journey sparks some curiosity for you. Maybe encourages you to look for the hidden layers in the stories all around you. Keep exploring, keep questioning.
Keep digging.
We'll see you next time on The Deep Dive.
Her fight is now yours, and so are the tools to win it. Go to sisterhoodsleuths.net. Claim the heirlooms, the free books, the VIP access, the rare gear, and step into the circle she prepared for you. The society is moving. The time to act is now.